Good afternoon. Welcome to Mike and the Hoss. We're a sports talk show on Wolfeboro Community Television focusing on Kingswood athletics, as well as perspective on New England and national sports. My name is Mike Dene.
And I'm Charlie Hossack.
This is our first episode, and hopefully of many. Our planned format is to open with Kingswood athletics and then move to New England sports teams and or national sports stories. So what do you say we get started, Charlie?
Let's do it.
All right. Our first topic tonight is going to be Kingswood sports, and we're going to talk about the ice hockey boys and girls teams. Right now, the boys teams 3 and 4 in 10th place. They had Timberlane tomorrow night, but that was canceled. Have you caught any of the games this year?
I have. I do have a question for you, though. So 10th place, is that, I know it's early in the season, Mike, but does that put us in a position that we would qualify for postseason?
My understanding is no. I believe that just like most of the New Hampshire sports, they're going with the 70% rule.
Gotcha.
Which means that 9 teams out of Division II are going to qualify.
All right. So the boys have some work, a little bit of work to do here.
They do, and the next 3 games are pretty big for the boys. I get this right. They have Timberland, which was canceled because of the snowstorm that's coming. A makeup game against Spalding on Monday, and they have Winnicott on Wednesday.
Okay, so these are big games.
There are 3 winnable games.
Yeah.
Right now they're dealing with a bunch of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Potenza's, they just coming off the big win at Kennett, which is a good rivalry win for them. So
Yeah.
the team's pretty pumped up, and
Sure.
it was a good game for them because they had some balanced scoring, which they haven't had.
Mm-hmm.
They've really been focused on 3 players, and they've been getting most of scoring out of them, but a little more spread out the other day.
Yeah.
So I think that it's trending in the right direction for them.
Right. You asked me the question if I've been to some games. So I was able to make it to the Oyster River game. And let's maybe talk a little bit about goaltending. Joey Vatanzi. That game that I had seen, he played lights out, really, really solid between the pipes. I was really impressed. And just to give you a little credit, Sam Dene is quite a hockey player. He certainly could put it in the net. But what are your thoughts? I know you're a big hockey guy, but what are your thoughts as we're moving forward? I know we've got the three big games coming up, but I'm liking this team. I like the way they look. I think if they can get healthy, I think we're going into the postseason.
I think this team could get to the postseason. I also think they could make some noise in the postseason. I don't see Division II as this year as a team. I think any of the 9 teams, if they get there, has a chance to win. So I think Kingswood's chances are as good as anybody else. Prior to these injuries, Coach Potenza would tell you that they probably had the top line in Division II between Sam, Colby Clegg, and Nick Potenza.
Yeah.
Because of the injuries, because of some other reasons, they have dropped Nick back to defense, which changed their defense around a little bit, and now they have an offensive defense, and they're able to generate some offense from the point.
Yeah.
Which is pretty exciting.
That's like old school, like Ray Bork-esque.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
Potenza's
what it is.
coming up.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So that's exciting. So best of luck to these hockey guys.
Yeah.
And
they're doing a good job, and I looking forward to them getting on a real good roll. Coach Potenza's got them playing well, so that's good. The girls team off to a 1-4 start, but the girls program is still in its infancy, and I know this is, I believe, the 5th year for the girls team.
Year 5. That's right.
Coach Landry took over this year, and what Kingswood needs is the feeder program for the girls.
Right.
It's hard for them to compete against the Hanovers, the Berlins, the Concords, the Bedfords, and so on that have these deep feeder programs. But there seems to be a lot of excitement around girls hockey right now.
Yeah, there are. Being around the pup now, I'm around the pup quite a bit with the girls team, and you see all these 7, 8, 9-year-old little girls that are coming to the games, that are playing hockey, that are learning the sport, and just getting excited. So the future definitely looks bright for the girls program. Right, I just wanted to highlight one of the players, Mike. Abby Kelly has just been outstanding for the girls team. She really is doing it all. She's got great skate skills, excellent shot. She's a real leader on the ice, and it's really nice to see.
I'm familiar with Abby's game. She's played for me at Back Bay since she was probably 6 or 7 years old.
Wow.
So, and she's playing for me also this year. In addition to playing for the girls team, she plays for the boys Bantams team. So she's been around hockey for a long time.
Yeah.
and when she gets out there with the girls, you could see that she is a seasoned veteran as a freshman. I think the first game she scored 7 goals.
That's right.
Which is almost unheard of in high school hockey.
Yeah.
So I think they could build around Abby. She's a good skater, a very strong skater.
Yeah. The other person I wanted to kind of highlight was Ella Savage. Ella's a freshman, and she's playing goalie this year. She's brand new to the goalie position, and she has as each game. I know they've only had 5 games, but each game she's gotten better and better. And I know that she's spending the time in between games, working on a technique, working on a form. She's getting some extra coaching, and she is really showing a great promise, especially as she moves through sophomore, junior, and senior year.
That's a great sign too. And Ella has a brother that can shoot on her too.
You bet.
Bailey
You
plays
bet.
on the
That's
boys
right. He
team.
can bring
so,
it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's exciting. So I think we've got I think we're in a pretty good position with the guys program, and the girls program is definitely heading in the right direction.
I agree.
Hey, let's talk a little bit of hoops. Kingswood hoops. Got to love the hardwood. We've got a new coach for the girls this year, and then we've got Coach Place for the guys. What's going on with the guys?
Well, the guys, unfortunately, they're off to a 1-6 start. But I think every time that I've talked to anybody about the boys team, there's a lot of excitement about the youth that they have.
Yes.
Right now they have some balanced scoring. Brogan Shannon's a sophomore. He's averaging 18.5 a game.
Wow.
Carter Morrissey's averaging 2.5 a game, but also 8 rebounds a game as a freshman.
Yeah.
Then they also have Matt Place at 8 a game, Ethan Arnold 12.2 a game, and senior Richard Kern at 7.8 a game. So they're getting some balanced scoring. But I think what's exciting about them is the young talent that they have, and that they are young and they're competing. 1-6, I don't think describes how close they've been in a lot of these games.
I agree. I've been to a few of the games, and the games are competitive. By no means are they blowouts, and it is exciting to see these young guys. And taking a look too, if Coach Place, I know he's been around the middle school quite a bit, and there's a nice crop of young players coming up from the middle school. So I think as far as Kingswood guys basketball, they're definitely going in the right direction, and we're gonna see some more wins and see them to continue to get better and better. We're already seeing it just this season.
Yeah, obviously I don't think this year is probably a playoff year for them, but
Right.
I see this team being a playoff team in a year or two, and that's going to be exciting for Kingswood basketball.
It is.
To get them back in the playoffs.
That's great. How are the girls doing?
The girls are a nice team.
Yeah.
They are a nice team. They're also off to a 1-6 start. They have some great leadership in Amanda Lepar and Sam Tavares. They have some young talent on Ekstrom and junior guard Grace Saunders. And as you mentioned earlier, first-year coach, Coach Gary Bedian.
Yeah.
There's some excitement there also, but it's a nice team. They're hard workers. When you go watch that game, they never give up. They're going to be playing actually in a little while after our taping. I'm going to try and go catch a few minutes of it.
Absolutely.
Tonight they have Pelham, should be a winnable game for them. I think it's a game that they should compete in. They're in 12th place. Pelham's in 12th place at 5-4.
5-4. Yeah.
Again, the playoffs are probably not in the cards for the girls this year, but there seems to be some excitement around the girls team.
Yeah,
which is fun to see.
I've had a chance just in passing to watch some bits and pieces of their practices, and it's Coach Garavedian runs such a nice practice, and the girls are involved, and more importantly, the girls leave happy and excited to be playing the sport. I wanted to highlight one more player just because I had a chance to see her play the other night, Bryn Davey.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! Wow. She can grab rebounds, and it's just she's aggressive, but at the same way she understands the game. So I think keep an eye on her as well. It's going to be
What year is Bryn?
I want to say Bryn is a junior.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but she's someone to watch. She's going to be around for another year or two.
Seems to be a lot of excitement around the boys and girls
Oh, yeah.
basketball. So,
Yeah, basketball.
They're heading in the right direction. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk some Patriots now.
The Patriots, are they doing okay this year?
So, well, not unless you talk to a lot of people.
Okay.
It's a down year for the Patriots.
Down. Franchise. They get what? It's
just are in the AFC Championship game for the 13th time in 17 years of Brady Belichick, if my number's right. So
yeah, and what is this, like the eighth time?
Eighth in a row.
Eighth in a row for, so they're not really doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if you listen to all the pundits and everybody that was talking about them all year, that it's over,
Yeah.
and then what happens last week? They play the Chargers.
Oh, my goodness.
A game that many were picking them to lose.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it was the Patriots of old.
Yeah.
They just came out.
I
and
even
took
think
care
it
of
was.
business.
I want to say it was almost more than the Patriots of old. Watching that game last week, Mike, Coach Belichick put together such a master game plan, and the focus of all the players. I haven't seen him perform at that level in quite some time. Obviously, this season I haven't seen him perform at that level. But that's just it was absolutely perfect. And a lot of the credit, we always talk about the players, and of course they have to execute. But I still, with Coach Belichick and his coaching staff, I mean, I think it's amazing.
It is amazing on how they can adapt to the opponents that they have and the personnel they have. It brings me back to, I think it was 2009 or 2010 when they traded Randy Moss halfway through the year, and so they went from this deep passing game to this short passing game, which is really where they started. And they did it over a week's period, that they changed their game and adapted to the new personnel that they had,
Right.
and then went on to win 14 games.
Yeah. I find it interesting you mentioned Randy Moss. I mean, he truly, was their last deep threat. I mean, Brady doesn't have anyone deep threats anymore, and they're able to pick apart defenses.
I tend to think that they're better without the deep threat.
Oh, I agree.
I think when they play within themselves, the short passes, the intermediate routes, they seem to be more balanced and they seem to be deadlier. When they work the ball down the field, instead of trying to get that quick score, they're a more dangerous team.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's stop talking about passing. What about this run game? Patriots have a run game.
They do.
I mean,
They do.
Obviously, you get a run game, you're going to open up the passing game.
Yep.
And they are in a position now where they actually have a run game. So, I'm Kansas City. How are you preparing this week for Kansas? I mean, if you're Kansas City, how are you preparing for New England?
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how Kansas City's going to defend New England right now, because if they bring 7 defensive backs into the box like San Diego did, then New England's just going to run through that. Brady's going to audible out, and he's going to run right through that.
Absolutely.
If they drop everybody back in zone, then Brady's going to pick that apart. We are at a very fortunate time. I'm going to segue a little bit here.
Yeah.
Over the last 18, 19 years, the Patriots, the dynasty that they've been in,
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell my sons how fortunate it was, because when I was growing up,
Yeah.
if the Patriots made the playoffs, that was a big
That was
deal.
the biggest thing ever, right? Yeah.
Now it's if they don't make the Super Bowl, it's like what happened. The dynasty's over.
Absolutely.
They're falling off the cliff, as they would say.
Right.
So pretty
Yeah.
interesting. They got a big game this week.
They do. They have a huge game this week. And I keep going back to they're playing, the 31st defense in the league.
Yeah.
But Kansas City's offense, very potent.
How do you think the Pats are going to stop Kansas City? What do you think that Belichick's going to come up with this week?
It's going to be interesting because I'm feeling like we're going to have a high scoring game. It's going to come down to. We're not going to stop Kansas City from scoring. Kansas City is going to score. I think what Coach Belichick needs to do is if he can isolate and attack some of the receivers that Mahomes has are very, very talented.
Yeah.
But if he can isolate a few of those, and if we can actually get our pass rush going, and everybody's like, well, you get a pass rush, you got Mahomes, he's just going to scramble and do this and that. Yeah, he's talented, but I think the Patriots are more talented in establishing the edge.
Yep. And
What are your thoughts?
well, Belichick is known for that. That's one of the first things he wants to do is establish the edge.
Yeah.
I go back to a game many years ago when Aqib Talib was playing with the Patriots, and New Orleans came to town, and Jimmy Graham was the greatest thing since chicken soup at that point.
Yeah.
And so everybody say they can't stop Jimmy Graham. They don't have the linebackers to stop Jimmy Graham. So what he did is he put Aqib Talib on Jimmy Graham. He put their number one corner. I think he's going to do the same thing.
Okay.
I can see Gilmore going on Kelsey.
Yes.
To take him out of the
Yeah.
game, and then they can double up Tyreek Hill and try and let
Yeah.
Mahomes beat him with his legs. It's going to be exotic. I don't think the Pats are going to go with the base defense. I think they're going to do something exotic, and it's probably going to catch Kansas City. But Kansas City's tough. They're probably going to score 35 points.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's going to be about whether the Patriots can score 36.
Right.
So, do you have a prediction for this week?
Yes. Hometown boy. I'm taking the Patriots, and I think Patriots. I'm going out on a limb, Mike. Patriots going to win comfortably by 2 touchdowns.
Wow, that is a homer pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Patriots.
Okay.
But on my DraftKings, I'm loading it up with Kansas City guys because I think it's going to be a big day for fantasy for Kansas City. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, and I think you could pretty much count on Mahomes and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
just loading up on points.
Sure.
And I could see the Pats just letting them get their scores. Yeah. And by the time the game ends, the hope is that they have more.
So just to rewind, I know we want to move on to other topics, but Patriots opening drive last week against San Diego, over 7 minutes. If the Pats can do large chunk drives, keep the ball out of Kansas City hands, we'll see. We'll see how those. How about this one? I don't mean to interrupt. How about this? Did we see Gronk play his last home game?
Yes.
Okay.
We saw that last home game.
Yep.
I think he's going to become a movie star now.
Yeah?
I
Not a
think-
wrestler?
No, I don't. Well, maybe it's like The Rock, kind of do
Yeah,
both of it for a
gotcha.
little while.
Yeah.
I don't see Gronk coming back next year.
Yeah.
He's not the same guy that he used to be.
No.
He's much slower, and I don't see him going another year.
He can still block.
He can, but I don't think Belichick's going to pay $12 million for another blocker.
That's a good point.
And
I agree. I think we've seen the last.
And
one.
I don't see him taking a pay cut. I'd like to see him stay. I do think that we have 2 or 3 more years of Brady, though. I don't see him going anywhere.
I agree. I think he's there, and I think we've got 2 or 3 more years of Belichick.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Right on. Talk a little baseball.
Yeah.
How about the Red Sox? We obviously world champion Red Sox. Things are going well. Great off season. Maybe a little controversy coming up here. White House visit, not White House visit. Let's see what's going to happen. But what do you think? Do the Red Sox, the $1 million question, right? Or maybe it's a $50 million question. Are the Red Sox able to repeat?
I think this is a good year for them to repeat. One of the ways that I look at the Red Sox is how they're built for the regular season and how they're built for the playoffs. And I think this team is built for both.
Okay.
They have the offensive firepower to get through the regular season, which is what regular seasons are built on.
Yeah.
And they have the pitching to get through the postseason.
Sure.
They've signed Evaldi,
Yeah.
which is a big signing. They still have Price. They still have Purcell. They still have Sale. They signed Stephen Wright. They still have Erod. So they have 6 or 7 starting pitchers that can get them through the regular season. And 3 or 4 of those guys can go back to the bullpen, as we saw what Cora did with the team. It was those starting pitchers are the ones that anchored the bullpen for the postseason, and that was not what everybody expected.
Sure. Right.
And so I see that happening again. They signed Mookie.
Yeah. I mean, so what do you think of this? So 1 year, $20 million.
Well, they didn't go to arbitration. Last year they went to arbitration with Mookie,
Yeah.
so there was a little bit of bad blood between the fact that they didn't want to give Mookie what Mookie thought he was worth. They didn't go to arbitration this year.
Right.
So that's a good start for the season.
So do you think Mookie needs to perform this year, continue to perform at a high level? He's looking for a payday?
I think
I would say $20 million is a payday, but is he looking for a longer contract?
I think that Mookie could be the first $400 million guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
$40 million a year for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's where I see Mookie coming
Does
in.
Mookie hit leadoff?
This year, I think, the first game, Cora said that Pedroia is hitting leadoff.
Yeah.
He's giving
Pedroia, huh? Pedroia's still going to be around.
Yeah. Pedroia's
I
hitting
do.
leadoff this year.
I like Petey.
And then after that, he's going to move Pedroia to the back of the lineup.
Okay.
That's a pretty good 8-9 hitter.
Yeah.
To have
So
Pedroia
you brought up Pedroia. I mean, I love Pedroia. I mean, he's Boston Red Sox through and through. Can he make it through a season? With the
No.
injury with the knees?
No, he can't make it through 162, but I could see him making it through 100.
Okay.
I can see, and they have.
They'll have to rest him every few days.
Well, you got Brock Holt.
Yeah, love Brock.
I think Nunez is still with them.
Yep.
I'm not positive
No,
about that.
he is.
So you have some proven utility infielders that
Sure.
can rest Pedroia, and 100 games of Pedroia is pretty good. If you can get 280 out of him. Remember, the former MVP, former Rookie of the Year.
Absolutely.
A healthy Pedroia at the end of the year is better than what they had this year.
Right.
So
I
I
agree.
think that's pretty good. All right, Charlie, we're going to talk about the Celtics.
Oh, the Celtics.
The Celtics.
Nice. Love.
That has been a roller coaster, I guess, to say the least this year,
Yes.
and almost a disappointment. Considering that they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year, lost to LeBron, which pretty much everybody does.
Sure.
They didn't have Kyrie last year in the playoffs.
Right.
They didn't have Gordon Hayward in the playoffs.
Right.
And so I think the expectations were this year that they were going to have a healthy Kyrie, they were going to have a Gordon Hayward, and nobody was going to touch him.
Right.
And then
the
season started.
Yep. Then the season started, and they got off to a tough start. And then for a while there, we thought they were clicking. I mean, things were going well, and all of a sudden, we have this inner turmoil.
Yep.
We've got Kyrie, who's coming out publicly and saying things. We've got Jason Tatum, and it's interesting because I got a chance to go to the game the other night and kind of watching it, and Kyrie, he went off at 27 points, 18 assists. That was this career high, 18 assists. He looked lights out, and he was feeding the ball to everyone. but you could even sense, just seeing it from the stands, that there's a little bit of turmoil.
The interviews that Kyrie is giving are a little discerning,
Yes.
on how it's a lot of me talk.
Right. It sounds LeBron-esque.
It does sound LeBron-esque, and ironically, he called him the other
Uh-huh,
night, and
he
you
sure
heard
did.
the news
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
So, and I think Brad Stevens has more of a Belichick approach about team defense, team offense,
Mm-hmm.
and starting to wonder what kind of fit Kyrie actually has in a Brad Stevens team.
Right.
And I mean, I know this is really scary to say, but are the Celtics better with Terry Rozier
At point.
than with Kyrie?
Yeah, that's a good question.
know.
They last season they were. So, and if Rozier and Jason Tatum, you can definitely does not like Kyrie.
No.
So, and Tatum's a heck of a player. So I think Danny Ainge is going to have to make some decisions. I don't know if it's going to happen during the season, but he's going to have to make some decisions.
Well, Kyrie is committed that he's planning on signing with the Celtics, and I think at the beginning of the year that made everybody happy.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure how happy that's going to make everybody now.
No.
I think that there, like you said, there is some inner turmoil, and a leader on a team needs to be able to bring up those young players.
Right.
And needs to make them feel valued.
Sure.
And from all accounts, Kyrie's not making those guys
Yeah.
feel valued.
I think Kyrie's only friend is Al Horford. It seems that way. They seem to have some chemistry together,
Yeah.
but it's Big Al seems to be friendly with everyone. So
I was going to say, doesn't everybody have chemistry with Al?
Absolutely. But so if Big Al is your only friend, I think it's going to be challenging. Do you think this is a team of, I mean, dare I say it, too many superstars?
There can only be so many alphas in the room.
Right.
And I'm afraid that there are too many.
Mm-hmm.
When Kyrie played with LeBron was the alpha, everybody else was the second, and everybody knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And now, when Kyrie signed, Gordon Hayward's an alpha.
Mm-hmm.
When he came over from Utah, he's
Yep.
he's max contracts.
And his gameplay has significantly improved coming back from the injury since the
Yeah.
beginning of the season.
I think Marcus Smart
Yeah.
bounces between being an alpha and not being an alpha, but I think he's a great role player. Marcus
Absolutely.
Smart,
Oh, yeah.
he could almost say he's their MVP. Because when he's that grinding, that's
Yeah.
he's going to get rebounds, he's going to score some,
Yeah.
but he's going to provide that defense that not many in the league can do.
Right. I agree.
But the problem comes down with the young kids. Jaylen Brown wants to be an alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum wants to be an alpha.
Sure.
And they want to get their shots, and
Yeah.
the shots aren't there.
Right.
And last year, though, with Rozier running it towards the end, they did get their shots, they did get their looks, and I think that's why they advanced as far as they did.
Yeah. I agree. And there were no expectations last year.
No.
And coming in, I mean, Brad Stevens has got the world on his shoulders. The expectations, I mean, people had already punched their ticket to the championship.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to face Golden State. Let's get ready to go. And things aren't going well right now. They're 5, and 5 doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go very far.
No, it doesn't, especially in the NBA. It's I am optimistic that the talent is there, obviously, but I think back to the summer when Kawhi was on the trade blocks, and
Saw Kawhi the other night.
I think the offer was Jaylen Brown and a draft pick for Kawhi, and we didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
Yeah. In hindsight, Kawhi almost took over the game the other night.
He
Toronto. I
did.
mean, he single-handedly almost beat the Celtics.
Yep.
So-
he's such a stud.
Yeah.
On both sides of the court.
Yes.
And he's one of those guys, just like Kyrie. Kyrie is a fun guy to watch play basketball. And Kawhi is a fun guy. Kawhi is dominant.
Yeah.
Him, Steph, LeBron.
Yeah.
Those Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Yeah. Those. Yeah.
It's might be time to look. Danny Ainge might have to look at making some shifts in this. I don't know if this is going to be the long-term group that you're going to be able to move forward with.
Right.
Need some more role players.
You do.
And that's not gonna. They're not right now. They're not there.
Yeah. But Brad Stevens. I think he does a great job, and it's just kind of like you mentioned, the way he coaches. He definitely has that Belichick piece.
Yeah.
It's
The team first, Eddie, gets the guys to play hard,
Yeah.
and I think that's been missing a little bit this year.
Right.
That night in, night out effort, diving after the loose balls.
Yeah.
everybody's up, and there, great example the other night when Kyrie hit the big three.
Sure.
Not everybody came out to congratulate him.
No.
And so
Jason Tatum wasn't high-fiving him.
No, I don't think I saw Jaylen Brown
I
out
don't think
there
so,
either.
yeah. No.
So that's not a good sign.
That is not.
Brad Stevens. And then on the bench, there was a little pushing and shoving on the bench the other night.
Yep.
Not at the game that you were
No,
at,
not
but the
yeah,
one
but
before
the
then.
previous game.
Those things don't happen on championship teams.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing Golden State getting into the ruckuses like that.
No.
Over their last few years of dominance.
Exactly.
So
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. We have a couple extra minutes.
Yeah, that's great.
Want to quickly hit the Bruins?
Yeah, let's talk bees.
Obviously, we both are hockey guys now. So
Yeah, I know.
playing
Yeah,
hockey.
absolutely.
I look at what the Bruins are doing, and it's very similar to what the Celtics are doing.
Yeah.
They're about the same. They're a disappointment compared to what their expectations were.
Mm-hmm.
The Bruins have a lot of injuries, though. The Bruins have been dealing with some injuries.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know who the alpha is on the Bruins.
Now tell me a little bit, because you have a little more hockey knowledge than I do. So McAvoy, right?
Yep.
So just an incredible year last year.
Yep.
Dinged up this year.
Yep.
Is he someone that you can build around? Is he someone that can stay healthy in the long run?
My understanding is that the Bruins thought that he was going to be their number 1 D this year.
Yeah.
That he was going to be number 1, and Char was going to be able. Char was 41.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
he was going to be
He's
able.
like the Brady of the Bruins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got in a fight the other night. Though.
Yeah.
He was going to be able to pull back to number 2, number 3, not log the minutes,
Yeah.
and the minutes were going to go to McAvoy and Carlo. But McAvoy got a concussion, and he's having a difficult time getting back from that.
Yeah.
You want your number 1 to be out there.
Sure.
And I think that's put the Bruins in a little bit of flux as far as the direction that they're going to go and what they can do. They're young.
Yeah.
The Bruins are young, and I know that they have Bergeron and Chara, which are certainly on the older
Sure.
side, and Marchand, I got to be 30 now.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of young talent in Pasternak and DeBrusque, and the list goes on. McAvoy, you still got to include McAvoy into that group.
Of course.
So the future is good for the Bruins. I just think that they're expected a little bit more this year than they've gotten. But the hockey season's long, and right now they're in the playoff mix, and they have a little bit of wiggle room.
Right.
But they don't have a lot. It's not where they can lose 5 or 6 games in a row and still be okay. They have to play.
Yeah. What about Tuukka Rask? I mean, he can go hot and cold.
Exactly. And I've never really been a big Tuukka fan.
Yeah.
For those reasons, that some days he shows up and some days he doesn't.
Right. He doesn't have that consistency between the pipes.
And his pay is that of an elite goalie, and I don't think that his performance is that of an elite goalie.
Right.
An elite goalie can have a shutout every single night.
Yeah.
You can count on that. You can count on no soft goals, and Tuukka lets in a lot of soft goals. So.
Yeah. So prediction, you think how far the Bruins get in the postseason?
Oh, I think the Bruins are going to lose to whenever they face Tampa.
Okay. So whatever
round
round that is,
whatever round it comes in, that's when they're going to lose.
That's going to be.
All right. So
hey, what's going on? Next week for our next show, what are we going to be talking about?
Well, we didn't address all the Kingswood sports, and we want to
Right.
touch, the winter sports that are going on. We want to talk about some track.
Yeah.
And you would hit me with that. The relay team.
Yeah, I heard some talk about the relay team is really hoping to be able to break the school record for the relay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we got to put that on the agenda.
Oh
for
yeah,
next
I
week,
want to talk about that.
Find out what that's going on with that. The Kingswood winter swimming team
Yep.
is going on, and the skiing. And if you walk into the gym, you see all the banners of the skiers.
Yeah.
On the banners. So
Yeah,
we got to talk about some
that. So
Kingswood.
we'll talk
Probably
downhill.
around-
We'll talk Nordic. Absolutely.
Hopefully, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl with the Patriots being in it.
Yes, we are. Hopefully, we're not talking about is this the end of the dynasty? No, I think we'll be talking about. I already made my prediction, so we'll be talking Patriots.
And maybe a little bit more Bruins and Celtics talks, and
That's
maybe a little bit more positive.
That sounds good.
All right.
Let's do that.
Do you have anything else to say, Charlie?
Nope. Do you have anything else to say, Mike?
I got nothing. So then, have a good night and go Knights.